What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Let's start with the MLB standings. Starting in the American League East, the Baltimore Orioles lead. They have taken a 2-game lead over the New York Yankees. In the American League East, they have the best record in the American League. They have been playing very, very well. New York Yankees continue to struggle. They are 56-39. Still in a good position, 2 games out of first, and are currently the first wild card in American League. They've been struggling. They're like 6-17 or something. The stretch they're on right now, they have been struggling for quite a while. Offensively, outside of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, haven't gotten a whole lot. Their starting pitching, which was phenomenal all season, is now struggling. Garrett Cole hasn't rounded into form yet. Their bullpen's been on and off all year. They're really, really having a tough time. The Boston Red Sox, 51-41, continue to play some really good baseball in playoff position right now, and only 3.5 games behind the Yankees for the first wild card in the American League. Only 5.5 games behind the Orioles for the best record in the American League, or second best record in the American League, first in the American League East. Rays are 46-47, game under 500, and Toronto is at 43-50. They are 7 games under 500. Virginia will be very interesting for the Toronto Blue Jays. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who's had a good year overall. I mean, not a great year, but a good year. Only got another year of control. And same thing with Bo Bichette. The problem is Bo Bichette has not had a good season. I mean, maybe the worst of his career. He's struggled this year. So, interesting to see if they, been talks about those two guys could get moved, especially Vladdy. See what they do. I heard Toronto wants to keep Vladdy, and Vladdy's open to an extension, but you shall see what happens. Cleveland Guardians right now, as we head to the American League Central, are 57-35. They have the best record in the American League, one of the biggest breakout teams of the season. They've been mediocre for quite a few years now. But despite losing the race Shea-Mader in April to Tommy John, they've been really, really good. Kudos to first-year manager Stephen Vogt for keeping that team afloat. Minnesota Twins have been playing well, 53-40. They won the division last year. Already 4.5 games out of the division, and they're second wild card in the American League. They've been playing well. Kansas City Royals 51-43. 7 games out of first. They're only a game out of the wild card. They've played well so far this year. Seth Lugo's in a breakout year for them. He's an all-star. He may be the slight favorite in the American League right now. The Detroit Tigers 45-49. They just are so bad offensively. Of course, the leader of that is Javier Baez, who's just been dreadful last couple of years. Only hit like 180 right now. The guys just have nothing left. Got that huge contract to go along with it, which is unfortunate for the Tigers. They actually have very good pitching. That rotation's been really good, led by all-star Tarek Skubal, but and their bullpen's been pretty good, but offensively it's so bad. And then the White Sox are at 27-68, the worst team in baseball. They are pathetic. 25.5 games out of the wild card. It's July 12th. That's bad. 1.5 games out of the division. Heading to the American League West, which has not been nearly as good as we thought. Seattle's at 52-43. They're in first place. Their pitching has been absolutely stupendous. Maybe the best staff in the league. They've been really bad offensively, but they pitch so well, it hasn't really mattered. Houston has gotten hot. They're up to 49-44. They've turned around after a dreadful start. They're only 2 games out of first and 2.5 games out of the wild card, so pitching has gotten a little healthier. They've gotten better. Offensively gotten healthier, gotten a little better. So overall, they're playing a whole lot better. Texas is 44-49. They have not had a great year. They were due for some regression. You had Scherzer, who he's had like 3 or 4 surgeries in the last year and a half, 2 years. Gonna be 40 years old. You lose Montgomery, who was your second best starter last year. You lose the entire back end of your bullpen, and then Rose Chapman, Will Smith, Chris Stratton for agency. Didn't really bring in anybody. There's a couple of guys offensively who had off last year. Although they still have a great offense. At some point, a couple of guys were going to be not quite as amazing as they were last year. They were due for some regression, but they've regressed a lot. Scherzer haven't happened that long. He hasn't looked great. And the bullpen has been the same. They've not been the same team that won the World Series last year. Right now, they may have to sell, and if so, I know Scherzer he won't. We have no triple because he believes in his team. But if they sell, I wonder if he would. Because they're 7.5 games out of the wild card right now, and 7 games out of the American League West. We're interested to see if he gets moved. Angels 38-55. They're very bad. Trout's hurt. Nothing to see there. And the A's 35-60 also suck. They have been not quite as bad as I thought. I thought they were going to be like a 110 loss team, but they are certainly not a good baseball team by any means necessary. Heading to the National League, Philadelphia Phillies are the best team in all of baseball, 61-32. They swept the Dodgers. Dave Roberts said they're just the better team right now. They've been rolling. They've been really good offensive, of course, led by Bryce Harper. Their rotation has been phenomenal. Aaron Nola's been very good. Zach Wheeler's been very good. Ranger Suarez has been probably their best pitcher. He's a Cy Young candidate in the National League. He was named an All-Star, as well as Zach Wheeler. And their bullpen's held up. They've been really, really good. The Atlanta Braves are at 51-41. They have not been as dominant they've been the last couple of years. Obviously, 9.5 games out of first place, or the first walk from the National League. Their pitching attack's been very good. Chris Sale, who has not had a year under 4 pitch, even that close to a full season in like 5 years, has had a phenomenal resurgent season. Was named an All-Star for the Atlanta Braves. But offensively, they have not had the same year they've had the last couple of years. They were historically great. Acuna tearing this year off did not help matters. Olsen doesn't have the year he had last year. Orlando Arcia has been really bad. Outside Marcell Ozuna, a lot of guys are not having the years they should be having. The New York Mets have turned around 47-45, have won, I think, like 20 of 28, something like that, or 19 of 27. Ever since, Grimace threw at the first pitch, they've turned it around somehow. And they've been playing very well, and right now are in playoff position. And they're only 4 games behind the Braves. As a matter of fact, I never thought I'd say that they were only 4 games back of the Atlanta Braves. That's crazy. And you have to watch the Nationals at 42-52. They just got swept by the Mets. There are 6 games out of the wild card. I mean, National League is very, very bad, very jumbled. They're 10 games under 500. They're 6 games out. I mean, they're within somewhat striking distance. They're 10 games under 500. See if they sell. And Jesse Winger could be a prime piece. He's had a really good year, bounce back year for him for sure. And the Marlins are at 32-61. They're just so bad. I mean, they were going to regress. He fired the GM for no reason. Didn't do anything in the offseason. In fact, he lost a couple of pieces. They're very bad offensively. And now you trade Luis Arias in April. They're going to regress. They've been very, very, very bad. National League Central, Milwaukee Brewers have made even this year's biggest surprise, 54-40. Their manager, Craig Counsell, took the Cubs job in the offseason. The GM, Stearns, of course, took the president of baseball operations job with the Mets. Your ace, Corbin Burns, who gets traded to the Baltimore Orioles. Your second best starter, Brandon Woodruff, is out for the season. Your all-star closer, Jeff Williams, hasn't thrown a pitch this year and may not throw a pitch this year. But a lot of young guys have stepped up. Guys like Joey Ortiz, you get back in the Burns trade. Mitchell has stepped up. Jackson Chourio has come along. Bryce Turang, to me, should have been an all-star. A lot of these guys have really stepped up. William Contreras has had a great year. So kudos to them. Pat Murphy, in his first year management, has done a very good job. St. Louis Cardinals. Another team got to a really bad start, but it turns around for the most part. I mean, 48-44, second wild card is, not usually what happens, but they're playing well enough right now. Pirates 45-48. Paul Skeens has been amazing, obviously, for them. He took a no-hitter into the 8th inning, and with Paul no-hitter, I mean, Cole Horman gave it up, but he was able to keep the lead at least. I'm surprised they took him out. I would not have taken him out. They had 99 pitches, 7 innings plus. He's got guy's got like a 2.1 ERA in 11 starts this year. He's your ace. You're up a run. You're chasing the wild card spot. Leave him in. Cole Horman's had a great year, but still. I mean, the games under 500. The 2 games out of the wild card. That's crazy. My Polsky was announced to start the All-Star game for National League. That's the right move. But the All-Star game is all about it being entertaining and for the fans. The ratings have been down severely the last bunch of years. Nothing else he just wants to watch. Maybe he'll help bring the ratings up. And he honestly has a case to be the best pitcher in the National League right now. He probably has a case. I don't think he is because he's only throwing about 60 or so innings and 11 starts. But outside of Ranger Suarez, there's no huge name that's juggle page so far. Cubs are at 45-49. 3 games out of the wild card, as are the Cincinnati Reds. Again, both teams have not been great. Cubs have not been good offensively. Cody Bellinger's not had a very good year last year, but because of how bad National League is, they're right there. National League West, Dodgers at 55-39. They have a lot of injuries when it comes to their pitching staff. You have not seen Kershaw yet. Obviously, Ohtani is pitching this year, and a bunch of other guys out, but they've still played very well overall. Padres 49-47. They're in playoff position right now. You have Arizona, who was at 547 a game out of the wild card. They've been a big letdown. Montgomery is not what they thought he was, and they signed him late in free agency. Corbin Carroll has fallen off a cliff, and a lot of the other moves they made haven't really turned out. Tony Pham's a guy you lose. So who knows? In the World Series last year, I thought a shot to go back this year. Has not responded well at all. Giants at 45-49. Another team for strong all season who hasn't really played up to standard. Jonathan Lee, you lose him for the year in the end of April. Chapman's been really bad. Snell in the rotation's been really bad, and just is not going to blame. But Netflix so bad, they're only 3 games out. And the Colorado Rockies are at 33-61. They are the worst team in the National League, or second worst in the National League besides the Marlins. They are as irrelevant as it gets, probably in sports, to be honest. All right, so Keegan Bradley was named the captain of the United States Ryder Cup team in 2025. Look, I don't have a problem with Keegan Bradley. He was a good player for a while. He played in the Ryder Cup for a while. Was a pretty good player in the Ryder Cup. Was paired with Phil Mickelson quite a bit. But when even he was surprised he got the nomination, that's when maybe he wasn't the best choice. Just considering 2 of the our names you named were Phil Mickelson. Everybody loves Phil. Obviously a great player. He's got what, 5 or 6 career majors. He's played in the zillion Ryder Cups. Had success there. Steve Stricker, he's been captain of at least the Ryder or the President's Cup. He's been captain of at least one of the 2 at least once. He was a great player for a long time. He played in the Ryder Cup many times. And you went with Keegan Bradley, who I have not heard in years. But he's been off the grid for a while now. But he is the captain, so we'll see what happens. 2 Ryder Cups ago, U.S. won. Looks like they're going to dominate for years. Then Liv happened. So last year, of course, got off to a very bad start. Well, not last year. Oh, yeah, actually, last year at this point. I got to a very bad start, ended up losing, but hopefully they fare a little better. Keegan did say they are going to consider Liv guys, so hopefully that helps. And Dan Hurley was extended by UConn 6 years, $50 million. So he will be the coach last piece going for them for a long time. In case later someone's trying to poach him, they will have a hard time doing so because he just got another big extension. Right, so the NBA has finalized their media rights deal. I talked about this a few weeks ago when this decision was basically made, but they have actually put pen to paper. NBA signs an 11-year deal with ESPN, Amazon, and NBC. 11 years starting after this upcoming season. They'll start with 2025-2026 season. Deal kick in for a total of $76 billion. Once the NFL season ends, this will be the national the televised game schedule. Monday, it'll be on Peacock, or its NBC streaming service. Tuesday will be on NBC, Channel 4. Wednesday will be on ESPN. Thursday will be on Amazon. Friday will be on ESPN and Amazon. Saturday will be on ESPN and Amazon. Sunday, NBC and ESPN. TNT is not involved. They also lost the NBA. I don't think this is a bad thing at all for the NBA. I'm actually very happy about the deal. Not so much about ESPN because their coverage is very. I'm not sure if you heard Justin from outside my room yell "womp womp," but if you did, shout out to him. But look, I love Inside the NBA as much as anybody. It's an incredible show, but look, it's on TNT did this to themselves. Their coverage of the NBA is not that good. Outside of that show and Kevin Harlan, their top play-by-play guy, he's obviously an incredible announcer. But like I said this before, somebody will pick him up. NBC or Amazon, somebody will sign him. Hey, somebody will sign him. You not if TNT loses the NBA for a guy, Charles Walker is talking about maybe his production company or TNT's trying to a last gasp try and get it, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Somebody will sign Kevin Harlan. That will be a free agent for about 5 minutes. So, not worried about that at all. I think this is the best thing for the NBA. ESPN's coverage of the NBA is embarrassing, but at least this means there will be less games for them because now NBC and Amazon are. So Jonte Porter has pled guilty to the whole bank scandal, and he could get 3 to 4 years in prison. I talked about this a couple weeks ago when he was charged. Play stupid games for stupid prizes. I'm not saying I want to see a guy go to jail, but he did this to himself, betting on his team to lose. It was a poor decision, and it cost him, and he ruined his life because now he reached his dream of playing in the NBA, and that's gone. No one's ever going to sign him again. He's banned from they can't. He's literally banned from the NBA, and they might be in prison for a few years. So he is not in a good spot. And the Detroit Pistons extend Cade Cunningham 5 years and $224 million. He got 22 points, 7 assists last year. Shot 44 from the field, 35 from 3, 86 from the line. But he's a very good player. He's still really, really young. He's only going to be 23 years old next year. He had the best year of his career this year. He got a lot better from 3. And also, the Pistons need somebody to build around. That team is so bad. The organization is such a train wreck. They need somebody to build around. Cade's a really good player. Based on what he's done in his career, is he worth, what is it, 44, 45 million, whatever it is? No, probably not. But look, that's NBA contracts now. Everything's an overpay. It's just the way it is. And the Pistons need somebody to build around, though they have that in Cade Cunningham. If you've been following the Olympics, which is about to get started, the U.S. basketball team has been playing some exhibition games. They the other day beat Team Canada. I think it was 78-66. Prior to that game, Kawhi Leonard withdrew from the team, saying apparently that he wants to get his knee healthy. If he had concerns about that, I don't know why he went in the first place and took the invitation, but he's off the team. He was replaced by Derek White. Look, there were a lot of other really good players who didn't get to be on the team. Didn't practice for the next. Derek White's teammate, Jaylen Brown. But look, something this team could use a little more of is defense, and Derek White brings that. So very happy for Derek White. He's a very good player. With Kawhi, I'm convinced the guy does not care anymore. He's always hurt. Every year in the playoffs, he gets there, and then he gets hurt somehow. Just randomly. See him, he's got a new hairstyle now. He just looks like he just does not care anymore. He won 2 rings, won 2 final MVPs. He had a great run in Toronto. I'll take a great run to Spurs. He's done what he's, what he feels he's done whenever he comes to Clippers. So that team was a massive failure. Him and Paul George. I think he just doesn't care. Talkin is, his $50 million, and will play whenever he wants. Basically, that's basically what his mindset is right now. If you ask me. All right, so let's start previewing some NFL. I'm gonna go team by team. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna do 6 teams today. I'm probably gonna do about 2 to 4 each day for the most part. For the next couple of weeks. Then once I'm done with that, I'll do division by division, and then I'll do power rankings 1 through 32. So 6 teams today. We're gonna do the New England Patriots, Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Houston Texans, and Indianapolis Colts. My team really random. The way I pick my team each day is I literally go like the Google wheel that you can get on the internet. I plug the teams in, and I spin the wheel. Whatever team it lands on, I do that day. So that's why it seems so random. If you like this, cool. If you don't, it's okay. But let's go. New England Patriots. Look, obviously it's a new era for them. They dominate for 20 years. Those days are long gone. Obviously, Brady's no longer there. Obviously, they poured race with Bill Belichick this past season. They promoted Jerome Mayo to head coach. A little worried about that. I mean, not right. I'm happy, honestly, as a Jets fan, but from as an analyst perspective, a little worried. The guy, so he retires from the NFL, played with the Patriots for a while, obviously, becomes a linebackers coach for 4 years, then jumps right to head coach. That seems like really risky. Belichick's coaching tree has also been very, very bad. He makes them look so much better than they are. So that's a concern. I thought they could have been a little more aggressive in the offseason. Free agency signing wise, didn't do a whole lot. You signed Michael Wenu, played right tackle last year. He can also play guard. You extended a couple of guys on defense. You re-signed Kyle Duggar, the safety, for 4 years. He gets like $65 million. You extended the D tackle Barmore 4 years for $80 million. They should have a really good defense. Judon coming back, Gonzalez coming back, and all these guys. They should have a very good defense. And offensively, look, they took a couple receivers in the middle round. You take Jalen Polk in the second or the third round, And in the 4th round, you take Javon Baker. Don't know a whole lot about Baker, but he's the guy who went on like an Instagram live. So I make people in wheelchairs stand up, which is just a wild statement, but apparently he's very confident in himself, nothing else. But I think Jalen Polk is a very good player. You have Kendrick Bourne coming back, though he's not a one by any means. You have Juju still there, though I'm not really sure how functional his knees are anymore. I don't know what he has left. So obviously the big thing is Drake May. You take him 3rd overall. I like the kid. He's got a very good eye. He's a good athlete. He can make plays with his leg. He's decently accurate. He holds on to the ball a little bit too long sometimes. That's the main concern with him. And honestly, if I was a Patriot, I would have taken Marvin Harrison Jr., start going for step 3 and take the quarterback next year. He worked there when he built the team first and then take the quarterback. And I have a visitor. Please come in, sir. All right, so I have a surprise guest. This is you guys know that's Justin.
Yeah.
So
it's like the first time I've ever been on camera in like 3 years. This is like him in the back of the control room.
Yeah, so just now he's been on before. We're in our new house in Bridgeport, and so we have our own rooms, and we don't have the same room anymore. And he shut a bump earlier, as you heard. So he is going to join me. So Justin, let me ask you this: what are your expectations of a New England Patriots?
They're going to be 4-13.
Okay,
I think I've said this before. I have not liked the Drake May film as much as other people have. Mm-hmm. First of all, if we're talking about Power 5 conferences, I mean, no longer the Pac-2. It's Pac-2, but before they were really good. The ACC to me for football has been the weakest.
It's not nearly as good as ACC, right?
It has been Clemson or Florida State for the past multiple years. Like, I'm not scared of Syracuse. I'm not
Syracuse football now.
Yo, I'm not scared of Syracuse.
And their basketball team isn't that good either.
Basketball team isn't that good either. They only have Carmelo. It's Carmelo and friends, by the way. Like, I'm not scared of Syracuse. I'm not scared of Clemson now.
Yeah, they fall large fall.
I'm not scared of Boston College.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like, people talk about Drake May like an NFL-ready quarterback. If he's an NFL-ready quarterback, then why is he sitting behind Jacoby Brissett for a year?
That's another good point, Justin. People, like, I do like Drake May. I thought he was the best quarterback in this class, but I don't think he's as ready as people say he is. Look, I'm not sure if he's going to start week 1. I don't think it's necessarily a problem, but for the hype he got, I don't think he's as ready as – he's probably the most ready in this draft. So James Daniels was close, but he just didn't play in the offense he's played in just aren't NFL offenses. So maybe it's probably the most NFL ready, but the quarterback class I think will be very good. A lot of guys I don't think are ready to start now. A few end up may start now because James Daniels is competing with Marcus Mariota. Bo Nix is competing with Zach Wilson and Jared Stidham. So if he wins that job, I won't be surprised because
Spencer Rattler's supposed to be against Derek Carr.
That's right. So sometimes who you're playing against. But yeah, I don't think May is as right as people say. I think he'll struggle a bit. And that team's very young. You have a good back in Stevenson, but the receiver, there isn't the one there. It is very, very young. The offensive line is very young. Obviously, you have a new corner in Van Pelt. So the best question is, how ready is Drake May? Is Stroud Mayo an NFL head coach? And what will Alex Van Pelt do as new offensive coordinator? But I'll give them 7 wins. I'll have them at 7-10, but I do not expect them.
They're not winning the division this
year.
Year.
By no means, no.
It's just not happening.
I think they'll be in last place in the division.
I did like the Jalen Polk draft pick.
Now I talked to
he was a
good player.
He was a very underrated player. Yes. I thought he got overshadowed by a Doomsday a little bit too much.
Yeah, this receiver was so deep. There was a lot of guys who went like even the 3rd and 4th round where they could be really good because of how deep the class was.
That's true.
And like I said, Javon Baker, if nothing else, he's very self-confident. I mean, he went on Instagram and says, "Oh, I make people in wheelchairs stand up," but just a crazy statement to say on the internet.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes, just like fuck, I guess. I don't know.
Justin will be back. Justin will be coming in and out today. He's my surprise guest. But so that's the New England Patriots for you. Let's continue on with this series. We'll go to the Cincinnati Bengals. So Bengals, they have a tough year last year. They lifted out on the postseason, didn't quite make it. Although they were expected to. A lot of injuries. Joe Burrow, who I think is the second best quarterback in the league behind Patrick Mahomes, missed a lot of time with a broken wrist. You had obviously Chase, star receiver, missed time. T. Higgins missed time. They were just killed by injuries, but they should be a lot better. And they were like 4-13 last year. They were what 9-8, 9, and they got a lot better just because you have Burrow healthy, Chase will be healthy, Higgins is healthy. You do lose a couple of pieces. You lose Mixon, who's a very good pass catching back, a good starting running back. You lose him. You know, Zach Moss. People are hyping him up a lot. I a little worried. I know, like football fans are like trying to get him a lot. They're valuing him very high. He's never been a third down back before. He was a third rounder by the Bills. I liked him coming out. I thought he went around later than I thought he was going to. But never returned to anything in Buffalo. Though last year, the fill-in for Jonathan Taylor was very good. Though I'm not sure if he's a three down back. Don't be surprised if Chase Brown is more involved than people are giving him credit for. You lose DJ Ray, who's a good D tackle. Lose Chidobe Awuzie, who's a very good cover corner, probably the best on the team. Like you do reunite with Von Bell from a couple of years ago, though. His last year in Cincinnati was great. The rest of his career, he's not as good as that year, so we'll see if what kind of player they get. And the line should be a little better. You draft Marius Mims to tackle in the first round of Georgia, who I do like. To me, they are really close to missing their window. So, and if they don't win the Super Bowl this year, I can see them losing a bunch of guys. I don't see Higgins being on the team next year. He said that I want out. You got to pay me. Bengals were just like, we're paying Joe Burrow like $53 million. They got to pay Chase for $30 million. Because of all you had to let go of Joe Mixon. You weren't able to re-sign DJ Reader or Chidobe Awuzie. Like, I don't know if I can afford to pay T. Higgins $30 million. Justin is back.
T. Higgins isn't going to be on the team by week 8. It's not going to be.
You think they'll trade him?
Here's the problem: we're not in an era anymore to where the owners make the decision.
Yes, players a lot of times do get what they want, especially in the NFL.
So if you say enough, trade me, they're gonna be like, okay, as long as you get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, it's interesting because the Bengals should be a playoff contender-ish if they're in the race, which they should be. They might be kind of like, ooh, like we're gonna lose him for nothing. We can get at least a second-round pick back for him, but they don't want to waste a chance of having a deep playoff run, possibly by giving away a really good receiver. But if they're in the race, yes, you have to trade him. There's no question asked. You have to trade him. You won't get full value for him at that point because now everyone knows you have to trade him, but it's better than nothing. To get a fourth rounder for him, it's better than nothing, So I could see him maybe tagging him again and then trying to trade him. That might be their best bet at this point. They're in a really tough situation with him because you got to pay Chase at some point $30+ million, and Higgins probably wants to run that as well. And the Bengals just don't have that. Tyler Boyd's another guy you lost. So to me, they're kind of in a Super Bowl or bust here because also Trey Hendrickson's a guy who all of a sudden right around the NFL draft it popped up that he wanted out. He wants an extension. So he could be a guy they may have to move off. And he's a really good player. He's underrated, one of the best passers in the league, in my opinion. So they're kind of in a tough spot, the Bengals, because they're up against the cap. They have a bunch of contracts come out. They may have to move off some guys in order to pay some guys. So they're in a tough situation. To me, their window which seems pretty open. I mean, look, you still have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase even after this year. So not too much to worry about. I'm sure they will extend Chase. He's played with Burrow since college. I'm sure they will work that out. But I have a feeling after this year, it will be Burrow, Chase, nothing else. So, look, you don't have to totally rebuild because you had those guys there, but you will have to retool a little bit, which means if you don't want a Super Bowl this year, and then now you fall into that category like, oh, all of a sudden we've kind of wasted Joe Burrow's prime.
I mean, I don't think they're winning a Super Bowl this year anyway.
No, and that's the problem. I don't think they are either. Although I do still think they're the biggest threat to the Chiefs because Burrow is the only guy who's beaten Mahomes somewhat consistently in the regular season, and he's done it in the postseason. Josh Allen has not been able to get it done with the Bills in the playoffs.
Definitely.
And this year they're going to take a step back. The Ravens and Lamar Jackson were not able to do it last year. The Dolphins certainly have not been able to do it in the regular season or in the postseason. So there's just nobody else I could see. So that's why I think the Bengals are the biggest threat to the Chiefs if they play them in the playoffs, would I take the Bengals? No, I would take the Kansas City Chiefs. But if you told me the Bengals were going to win, I'd be like, all right, I disagree, but I can see it happening. Also, the Bengals have to get there first. The Ravens are still there. I think the Ravens will rest a little bit because they lost some guys in the offseason. The Ravens still may still win the division, and the Bengals got to get to the Chiefs, in order to have a shot, obviously. So that's a big question as well. So here, Justin, what do you expect out of the Bengals? Do you think they win the division, or do you think the Ravens or somebody else will win the AFC North?
Honestly, it's a 2-horse race in the NFC North. Like, I'm not afraid of the Steelers. I'm not afraid of the Browns.
Yeah.
I don't know. The problem is that the Cincinnati Bengals have a very big offensive line problem.
They do.
The reason why, and think about it this way, for 3 straight years, the reason why they lost was because of a lack of a line.
Yeah.
So Joe Burrow got injured his first year because the line sucked. The next year the line gets a little bit better. They get a little bit better, and then they go to the Super Bowl. And then what happens? The last play of the game, O-line breaks down. Now Aaron Donald's a Hall of Famer, we all know that, but still, like that, there was nothing stopping him from getting to it. And then now we look at this year, it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
O-line is killing the guy.
Yeah, he's good. And they got to be careful because he's a potential generational talent, and they're going to waste his career. He's taking too many hits.
Yeah, if he takes too many hits, we're going to be looking at a Derrick Rose situation where the guy just keeps on getting hurt and can't stay healthy.
Yeah,
and now when you go there, now you're reaching bust territory.
Yes. Yeah, and it could be like an Andrew Luck situation. First pick, phenomenal talent, had a great career, but just got cut short. Luck was a little different because he just was tired of getting injured. He was like, all right, my life had just become. He wasn't even enjoying playing football anymore. It didn't matter how much money he was making. He was like, I'm tired of this.
He's like, I just only to die.
I just thought I'm getting hit every single play. I'm just tired of it. You never know. Could maybe if Burrow, if they can't keep him upright, could Burrow be like I'm tired of rehabbing injuries over and over and over again, or he says, all right, I still want to play football. I'm in a Super Bowl, but maybe not for the Bengals. I mean, he's from Ohio, so that's a little more unlikely. But the Bengals are starting to get in danger of wasting his prime.
They are, and also the Ravens have gotten better over the offseason. I like the Devontae Walker draft pick.
That was a very underrated pick.
I like the tape he has. Are they still going to throw to Rashad Bateman over him? Yes. Do I agree? No, but here's the thing. I think Lamar is a little bit overrated. I don't think he's shown me enough. He's shown me that he can't win a big game yet.
He has not been able to playoff wins for the most part. Have eluded them for sure so far.
Yeah, he hasn't won in the big moments, and he has to. But he is still a phenomenal player. He's still a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. Like there's not 5 quarterbacks better than him. So that's what I have them over the Ravens. I have the Ravens over them more. I just don't have faith in the Bengals. There's too much going on with the Bengals. With money, with T. Higgins wanting out, I like the Mike Gesicki move for tight end.
Yeah.
I think he deserved another chance because that Patriots team was awful.
They're passing up last year.
Yeah, they had no QB identity.
Yeah.
So I think I think he gets a second chance there, but is it enough? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. We'll like the playoffs. I think they will probably get into the playoffs, but don't think they win the division. And look, again, if they face the Chiefs, I do think they have the best shot of anybody in the AFC at beating them, but they got to get there first. So the next team is actually the Baltimore Ravens. So.
Well, I think I just covered.
I think you just covered.
I did your homework for you.
Yeah, thank you, Justin. But yeah, they do lose a couple of guys on the after line. A couple of them to the Jets. Obviously, Morgan Moses gets traded to the Jets. John Simpson signed with them. You lose Geno Stone on the back end on defense. Patrick Queen in the middle there, but you still have a really good defense. You brought back Justin Madubuike, who had a great year last year. You have a deep defensive line. You still have Roquan Smith, who's really good. On the back end, you still have Marlon Humphrey. You still have Kyle Hamilton, who's one of the best at his position. I was picking up Derrick Henry was a big move. Yeah. Really? You don't think so?
You're just going to run. He's getting older. He's an enjoyer of getting hurt. at least in the later end of his career, with like all the foot injuries.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal as people say. We're probably going to see a lot of triple option.
There will be a lot of read options in both months.
There are a lot of read options, a lot of triple options. They will be running a lot of I formation. Like it's just, I think it's happened. I think that's just going to be out as obviously it's an upgrade because J.K. Dobbins can't stay healthy, and then Gus Edwards, went to the Chargers like every Ravens running back does now. So it's like, okay, I think it's okay. I just don't think it's going to be enough to win a Super Bowl now.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think they'll be able to use him a lot less. And the Titans basically ran him into the ground because they just had no passing offense. So I think he'll have a lighter workload because the Ravens like to use multiple running backs, because they have to because those running backs get hurt. But they do like to use multiple backs. Lamar obviously runs a lot. So opposed to having like 280, 300 carries, he might have like 220 or to 240. And he had 1,100 yards last year behind the Titans one that was very bad. So I think he can still be a productive back. Obviously, 30 years old for a running back, especially with one who with the mileage of Henry on him, is not ideal. But I think he can still be a productive running back because he's very, very good. The Ravens line, I think, will take a little bit of a step back that was last year, but he's certainly better than what the Titans had last year. So overall, I think it's a good move. You mentioned Tez Walker. I think he can make a bigger run than people think. He should be the number 2 receiver. I mean, the rest of the receiver room isn't that great.
I look at this team now and I see, okay, you've got Mark Andrews coming back. You've got Tez Walker. You've got Zay Flowers, who looked really good. I guess you have Rashad Bateman that you could put on like an in route for like 2 yards if you need it. And now you have Derrick Henry to where you could hand off to him. You could also use him as a receiving back a little bit, just like a simple dump off. He'll stiff arm 4 people to get you a first down. This is now, to me, not only AFC Championship or bust, but also at some point you got to start blaming Lamar a little bit.
Yeah,
he cannot have this perfect of a line and run at 5 yards.
Yeah, look, I've been saying for at least 3 years now they need another piece on the outside for Lamar Jackson. Maybe Tez Walker is that guy. I don't know. I think he's got a chance to be a very good receiver in this league, but he's only a rookie. He was a 4th rounder, so we'll see what kind of impact he makes year 1, especially for a team that's also going to run the ball a lot with John Harbaugh as their head coach. Tom Longman's a pass first offensive coordinator, but you saw the game plan he did last year was not as pass heavy as he was when he was the coordinator in Tampa or in Cleveland for that matter. So we will see what happens, but yeah, it also, Lamar got his bag. Mark Andrews, they gave him the contract a while ago. You give him Matabuke a lot of money. The cap crunch already cost him a couple of players last year. How many more will it cost going forward? At this point, the window is definitely open, so it's time for the Ravens to cash in on that for sure.
Run Justin Tucker on a read option.
Justin Tucker, best kicker in the league.
You got the light for him.
Yeah, best kicker in the league. Maybe the best kicker ever, to be honest. The next team up is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
All right, so before I leave, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be 9-8 this season, and that's the end of it.
Well, do you have them or the Falcons winning the NFC South? You have the Bucs winning it.
I have the Bucs winning it.
All right.
Who's your quarterback for the Falcons? Either Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix.
Supposed to be Kirk Cousins.
All right, and who's their receiver? Who's their receivers?
Drake London.
Okay.
They have Bijan
Darnell Mooney.
And then Kyle Pitts.
Okay. Does that scare me more than Mike Evans? No.
That is true.
I also like Jalen McMillan.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty good. And also, I've been saying this forever. If you haven't heard the story, Jake might tell you, do not sleep on Baker Mayfield.
That's true. Bye, Justin. Thank you for joining us. That was Justin, everybody, as you all know. But the Bucs, I think they'll be about 9-8. I think the Falcons might lift them out the division. I'll do my division by division in a couple of weeks, but they should be 9-8. The only thing I worry about is Baker. But Baker's Taker's obviously not the guy we thought he was the first overall pick out of Oklahoma, but he's done before where he has a good year, he gets paid, and then the next year he falls off. But he also was tempted to kind of come out of nowhere and play really well. So we'll see if he can do it again. If he can, they will probably win the division, honestly. Rashad White's a good back. You bring back Mike Evans, Godwin. Look, this team is mediocre. They're just in a really bad division. It's the same team as last year, but a year older and more expensive. Baker supposed to make $8 million, instead of making $30+ million. Mike Evans is getting old. Godwin's getting old. He has not aged as well as Evans has. Guys like Levante David are towards the end of his career. You let go of Shaq Barrett because he was not producing the way he once was. Dr. Larry isn't that great. But if they can do what he did again, he basically has the same squad. So there's no reason they can't go 9-8 again and win the Works Division. Part thinks they're better off doing 8-9 losing and firing top balls. But if they go 9 and win the division, we're not be surprised. Next is the Houston Texans. So Texans had a phenomenal offseason coming up, a really good year. Of course, Stroud had an historically good rookie year. He was up at the rookie year, obviously. They win the division and the playoff game. They went out and traded for Stephon Diggs, a second-round pick in next year's draft. And then they retooled his contracts, and they have an incredible receiver trio of Diggs, Tank Down, and Nico Collins. Recent Dalton Schultz for 3 years. You bring in Joe Mixon for only a 7th-round pick and give him a 3-year extension. You add him to the defense of Daniel Hunter on a multi-year deal as well. He has 17.5 sacks last year. One was top 5 in the league. 40 Minnesota Vikings. You got a really good young head coach, D'Amico Ryan. This team should be really, really good. Like I said, I think the Bengals are still the best bet to be biggest threat to the Chiefs, but I would not be shocked if the Texans are in the AFC Championship next year. They are really, really good. They will easily run away with the AFC South, and they're one of the best teams in the league. And this is just what happens when you hit on the quarterback right away at the high of the pick, and they have the head coach as well. And last but not least, the Indianapolis Colts. Colts will probably be middle of the road team. It all depends on Anthony Richardson. Obviously, got hurt, only played a few games last year before getting hurt the shoulder. But if he can keep himself healthy, but the kid's got a cannon. He's an incredible athlete. He's just very, very inaccurate. The Colts, made a couple of moves. You bring back Pittman for 3 years. Pierce is still there. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor's a really good back. You have a pretty good offensive line. I like Quentin Nelson. Solid defense. I like Steichen as a head coach. But to me, they should be about where they were last year, 9-8. They were right there in the walk-up. They'll probably be about the same. Look, if Richardson breaks out, they'll be in the playoffs. If not, and then we start having some more questions about it than the answers, then they'll probably miss the playoffs. Simple as that. To close this thing out, let's recap Monday Night Raw from this past Monday. Had a Friday Night SmackDown tonight, which should hopefully be out by the time you guys are not have started before the time you guys are seeing this. We started off with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Face-to-face, Punk cut a promo on McIntyre. Then Rollins interrupted him, and Punk obviously was obsessed. He went by and announced him, said, we're going to be here for a while. He called him out for using his government name at the PLE and Money in the Bank. And they had a great segment. Those two, they don't like each other. I don't know how much they've gotten along since Punk came back, but they are phenomenal when they've done promos together. Because you makes you think they legitimately hate each other. They are really good together. Jason defeated Chad Gable in a one-on-one match. Then the White Six came out. Uso literally went yeet and got out. And then Gable, of course, was scared off again. And they gave another VHS hit to Pat McAfee, and they got to the truck. And then there was another kind of creepy little showing. Obviously, you saw Uncle Howdy show up in Pat Pierce's office. First time he was on television, besides the tapes itself, in years. The Brunswick defeated Pete Dunne in a one-on-one match. Then he attacked Dunne after the match, and Shams came in to save his old buddy. Of course, him and Reed had a little spat backstage, and then when Shams went to hug Pete Dunne pushed him away. He did not forget that Shams walked out on the Rolling Brutes a couple years ago. Maybe that'll be a match at SummerSlam. And Braun Breaker attacked Sami Zayn. And then Ilya Dragunov came and checked on Zayn. And then Dragunov and Breaker had a match, and Breaker hit him with a chair, so Breaker won disqualification. Then he attacked Dragunov. Zayn came out, and he got attacked again. That'll probably be a threat for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam. 6-man tag between Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Korea. They defeated the Awesome Truth and Braun Strowman on a 6-man tag. Then Damage Control won a 6-woman tag match against Cade, Katana, Chance, and Lara Valkyria. And then Sonya Deville returned with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, and they beat down Damage Control. That faction's got a lot of potential. Sonya Deville's been out for a while. She was having some legal problems, and then she was hurt, but she's back, and she added a lot of work to that group. I'm very excited to see what those three ladies do. And of course, we had the main event was a mixed tag between Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan, his side piece, whatever you want to call her, against Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega. Dom and Liv won. They were, looking like they were about to kiss in the middle of the ring, and then Rhea Ripley returns, scared off Liv Morgan. Dom went to hug her, and Rhea pushed her away. She's not very happy, obviously. That storyline's been absolutely incredible. Came in for Rhea against Liv at SummerSlam, which is almost definitely going to happen for women's title. And that's all I have for you guys today. Till next time, so long, and have a great time.